My all-time favorite UX law has easily got to be Miller's Law. That's the video, that's it. Just kidding. No, so that's cool and everything, but why is Miller's Law my all-time favorite law? Before we get into it, let's go ahead and discuss what Miller's Law is. Miller's Law is the idea that the average person can only remember 7 things at a time, give or take 2. But how does that apply to user experience? So the way I like to use Miller's Law is in information architecture. And information architecture is essentially the idea of how things are organized. That could be anything from the navigation to anything that makes up a component on a web page. Now this is cool, this is really cool. So it's important to keep in mind this number of 7 when you're organizing things. Whenever you start to have a little more than 7 items within a group, then it might start to overwhelm a user because they don't know where to look at. There's too many things to look in and they're just gonna skim through it. Let's say you have like 50 different things that you want to display. It might be a good idea to break those 50 things down into those 7 groups of, what is that, 50 divided by 7, that's like 7.05-ish, give or take. So then, wow, that's some good math. You have 7 groups and each of those groups have 7 things in it. Completely a coincidence how that worked out. Now we could just have them all listed on one page. That's a possibility. But if a user wants to quickly find something, it might be better to organize those things. Another area where this rule 7 is very applicable is within drop-down menus. You have a very high amount of things you want to pick from. Maybe there's like 12 different things. And if you hit that drop-down menu and there's 12 things that's populating, that might be a little overwhelming. So maybe it might be a good idea if there are anything within those 12 groups where you can organize them or categorize them into one common thing and put that in a sub drop-down. If you could do that to get to that 7 threshold, that will be a better experience for the user. Now the key here is to be able to find the balance between this rule of 7 and also being able to understand when there's too many clicks going on. So let's say you have 10,000 items. So you take 10,000 divided by 7 is like what? 1,500-ish, around there. And then you divide that by another 7 and it's like, okay, you're gonna have subgroup of subgroup of subgroup of subgroup. If you like take this rule of 7 too drastically in this scenario, you're gonna have to click 20 times just to get what you're looking for. And maybe that's what you want, but probably not. That's a lot of clicks. It's gonna take the user a lot of time to find what they're looking for. But it's important to try to use this power of 7 as much as possible when you're organizing things. I've noticed in my experience that this typically creates a better experience for the users. So yeah, Miller's Law, I love it. Do you agree with what I have said? Do you disagree? What is your opinion on Miller's Law? And what is your favorite UX law? I'm curious, I'm intrigued. Let me know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this, go ahead and give this sucker a thumbs up. If you give it a dislike, doesn't matter anymore because dislike buttons, they exist but no one can see them. It's great, it's awesome, I love it. I can do whatever I want now. Yeah, that's all I got. Thanks for watching. Keep it real.